Va'etchanan el Hashem. Possibly the most heart-wrenching words in the entire Tanakh. Moshe Rabbenu, the greatest prophet of all time, the man who responded to Hashem's calling, gave up his life of luxury as a prince in Egypt, and not only rescued a people from bondage, but put into motion the greatest human revolution since creation and possibly of all time. No other human being has had an impact on humanity as did Moshe Rabbenu. He sacrificed all for one purpose: to bring the Jewish people, the forebearers of humanity's most ethical religion, to the land of Israel and make known the word of Hashem to the world. And he himself is denied entry into the land. He is denied seeing the final stage of his life work. In his own words, Va'etchanan el Adonai ba'et hahi lemor. And I pleaded before God at that time, Adonai Elohim atah hachilota leharot et avdecha. You, Hashem, have begun to show your servant et godlecha ve'et yadecha chazaka, the greatness and the power of your hand. Asher mi'el bashamayim u'ba'aretz, asher yaseh kema'asecha v'chigvurotecha. Who upon the earth or heavens has your power and your actions? Please allow me to cross over and see the beautiful land, the good land on the other side of the Jordan. Hahar hatov hazeh v'halevanon, the beautiful mountains and the Lebanon. The pathos in this passage is palpable. How could this be? How can we make sense of this divine decree? In a previous sermon, I argued the possibility that maybe, just maybe, had the Jewish people prayed to Hashem, petitioned God, just as Moshe Rabbenu had done at Har Sinai on behalf of the people, maybe God would have let him in. Moshe Rabbenu put his life and his destiny on the line to save the Jewish people. Mecheni na misifrecha. Moshe says to God, erase me from your book. I quoted then, and I will quote again, the passage in Devarim Rabbah. Amar lahem, Moshe Rabbenu says to the people, Kisheasiten oto ha'maaseh, when you did that sin, transgressed that sin at Mount Sinai, ubikesh HaKadosh Baruch Hu lechalot etchem, and Hashem asked to destroy you, lo hitpalalti alechem, did I not pray on your behalf? What if the people would have done the same on his behalf? It doesn't matter what the outcome would have been. But the people remained silent. This has to be read as tragic. Allow me to offer two other ideas as to why God, despite Moshe Rabbeinu's pleas, does not enter the land of Israel. It is possible that God is acting out of kindness and grace, not letting Moshe Rabbenu into the land of Israel. Let me explain. Of course, we do not know God's ways, but we can certainly conjecture that had Moshe Rabbenu indeed entered the land as an old man, 120 years old, tired and worn out, expecting to retire alongside a vineyard and a nice piece of land in the Galil, his retirement would not have been the utopia he dreamed of. We have the benefit of knowing what happened when the Jewish people entered the land of Israel. The book of Joshua and the book of Judges, Shofetim, tells us of a series of setbacks. The Jewish people worship foreign gods, and Hashem punishes them repeatedly. This pattern is repeated for about 380 years. Had Moshe Rabbenu seen this and experienced this, he would have been devastated. He would have died believing his life work was a failure. My contention here is that Hashem not only did Moshe Rabbenu a chesed, but Hashem did the Jewish people a chesed. Moshe Rabbenu, the greatest prophet to ever live, died with a perfect dream, a vision he had for Am Yisrael and for the world. Mamlechet Kohanim vegoy kadosh, former slaves that would be a nation of priests and a holy people. A dream that remains unadulterated. It is that perfect vision that Moshe Rabbenu had that remains our goal and our promised destiny. Allow me a third reason why Moshe Rabbenu does not enter the land of Israel by divine grace. The reason he does not complete his dream is because life, my friends, is always too short. There is always more, much more to accomplish in a lifetime. The Mishnah states, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. We can't possibly do everything ourselves. Velo ata ben chorin li batel mimena. We can't do everything, but we also cannot excuse ourselves from doing our part. David HaMelech understood this point very well. Life is always too short. Limnot yameinu ken hoda v'navi levav chokhmah. Teach us to number our days, says the Tehillim, so that we may achieve a heart of wisdom. We all know intellectually that life is short. But how many of us actually live our lives, live every day like we are going to die one day? We all have responsibilities and chores and work. But how many of us spend so much mental energy just getting through each day? We forget that our time here is finite and maybe there is more to do, more people to connect with, more charitable work to be accomplished. Each moment we squander away is a moment we will never get back. Here are just a few reminders. Life is too short to hold on to grudges, especially against people we love or should love. Life is too short not to see Hashem's wonders of the world, of creation, especially the wonders around us. Life is too short not to live it fully. And so, every once in a while, it is okay to remind ourselves that life is indeed too short. The time is now to reach out to one another. Now is the time to remind ourselves that our materialistic pursuits will not bring us happiness. Now is the time to remind ourselves the importance of our family and our home life. Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, says the Prophet in this week's Haftarah. Our greatest comfort, my friends, will come from Hashem and from those closest to us. Shabbat Shalom.